NSA President Joe Ajaero appears before the Nigerian police for interrogation after the invitation in connection to a raid the police said they carried out on the Labour House. And our attention tonight will also be on the Nigerian economy in view of recent economic indices. What is the windfall tax? And why is the federal government taking up such a task at this time? Plus, tonight, one of the major candidates in the Edo governorship election will be joining me right here, live on the program. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the program. This is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimale here in Abuja. Let's get straight to the point. So much to talk about tonight. So we get straight to it. Let's inform you about what happened today. There's been threats that if Joe Ajaero does not return, there will be a nationwide strike. Well, at some point, Femi Falana, the lawyer to Labour and Joe Ajaero, had calmed everyone down and said, look, there's no need for that. We're going to the Nigerian police force to answer to the invitation. So the president of the NLC, Joe Ajaero, returned to the Labour House after honoring the invitation of the police, described the Labour movement as the most patriotic organization in the country, promising that the union won't compromise its patriotism no matter the challenge it faced. Ajaero says some of these things while addressing a crowd of Labour members who gathered at the NLC headquarters to welcome him after honoring a police invitation.
We have gone there and we are back. I just want to confirm to you that as a citizen, I've gone there and we are back here. So, and you can't do this job we are doing without this type of hazard. It's expected. And for those of you who called me, I told them that this is the hazard of the job. So, comrade, even at the unit level, some of us experience this. You know, as far back as 97, 98, I was telling Falana, we were pulling together in the cell, enjoying ourselves during the time of Abacha. So, comrades, but what is important is the circumstances, you know, that took you to that place. Or whatever is the case, we're out to continue the struggle.
All right, then, that is Mr. Joe Ajaero after honoring police invitation. Tonight, I'll give you a front seat experience about the politics of Edo State. And the man who calls himself Oludi, you probably by now must have understand or know how to sing that song because his campaign songs are everywhere. The Labour Party candidate will be joining me on the program. But again, tonight, we need to dissect some issues. A lot of the times when I get confused about some of these economic issues, there is one person I always call on to, and it's Bismarck Rewane, who is live with us in the Victoria Island in Lagos to give us insight on what is windfall tax. Well, again, the Nigerian economy has defied most of the predictions. It does look like things are looking better in terms of the figures that the MBS has provided for us. We'll be breaking these down for you tonight. Stick around with me, everyone. But first and foremost, let me serve you with some of your political roundup stories.
President Bola Tinubu departed Abuja for a working visit to China. President Tinubu would have a stopover at the United Arab Emirates, UAE. While in China, the president will meet with President Xi Jinping and will hold meetings with Chinese business leaders on the sidelines of the Forum of China-Africa Cooperation. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. George Akume, has called for stronger collaboration between the federal and state government to drive sustainable national development. He made the call at the 2024 first meeting of the Forum of Secretaries to the Government of the Federation and state governments held in Abuja.
Your roles are crucial in tailoring these policies to the unique needs of your respective states
Ahead of the September 21 governorship election in Edo State, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has fixed September 12 for the signing of peace accord by candidates and political parties participating in the election. The INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, stated these at a meeting with chairmen and secretaries of political parties in Abuja. The electoral body also informed political parties that it will conduct a mock voter accreditation and voting exercise in 6 local government areas on September 10 to determine the efficacy of the bimodal voter accreditation system, BVAS.
On Tuesday, 10th September 2024, the Commission will conduct a mock accreditation of voters to determine the deployment of the BVAS for the election, as well as the upload of results to the INEC result viewing portal, the INEC.
Also, the People's Democratic Party in Edo State has flagged off its governorship campaign in Ubiaja, East and Southeast local government area of Edo State. Present at the rally is the candidate of the party, Mr. Aso Egudalo, his deputy governorship candidate, Mr. Osarodion Oye, governor of the state, Mr. Godwin Obaseki, amongst other senior party officials across the state. Addressing his supporters, the PDP governorship candidate promised to improve on the legacies of Governor Obaseki. He voted as governor in the September 21st governorship election.
We go dey move from local government to local government. We go dey talk to our people. We go dey tell our people, say make them believe in us, make them trust us, make them stay with us, make them work with us, make we all day together. And by God's grace, we go persevere. By God's grace, we go win. Yes, sir.
Lastly, the newly elected president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Mr. Alpha Musibwe, SAN, has taken his oath of office as the 32nd president of the association. In his inaugural speech delivered at the swearing-in ceremony in Lagos, Mr. Sigwe commended his opponents, Tobinna Erojikwe and senior advocate of Nigeria, Chukwuka Ikwazam, for their decorum during the electioneering process and extended a hand of fellowship to them to join him in moving the association forward.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Mr. Bismarck Rewane is already live with us. But Mr. Rewane, it's good to see you. Please give me some moment. I need to speak with Mr. Olumide Akpata because he needs to go on some campaign activity. So since you are not on the campaign trail, please relax for a moment. I'll be coming to you in just a moment. I'm being joined tonight by Mr. Olumide Akpata, the Labour Party's governorship candidate for Edo State in the upcoming September election, with a compelling 8-point agenda aimed at transforming the state. Mr. Akpata brings a vision focused on comprehensive economic development, improved infrastructure, enhanced education, and healthcare reform. Well, let's get into the interview, which hopefully we are hoping that we are going to be able to drive out what Mr. Olumide Akpata intends to address, impressing on the issues that that the people of Edo State in the local communities are facing, and why he thinks he's the most qualified candidate for the role. Olumide Akpata, a former NBA president and a candidate of the Labour Party. Thank you so much indeed for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Sheun. Good to see you again.
Yeah, it's good. Are you the real Oludi?
I guarantee you. Live and direct, flesh and blood. Come.
But can you sing? Can you give us that?
Who's your...
I never thought that a career lawyer will actually know how to make some moves, but you've shown us that you can diversify. Yeah. You can be like Remas of this world and Davido.
So it's interesting. It's dexterity.
I don't mind. All right, let's get to it. You've been explaining a lot because a lot of people thought that you sold out. And you said, oh, no, you have not sold out. But the question that you have not been able to answer is who is sponsoring you? Because we know that what you have done perhaps all your life is law, corporate law. Where did you get the money?
Firstly, Sheun, I'm really flattered, by the fact that there's so much attention focused on me. That means I'm doing something very, very good. I'm doing something right. So, like I said on another channel, and now tree won't get fruits, neither the stone now. So nobody's going to come after you if you have nothing to offer. So initially, I was said to be the agent of Governor Obaseki. We were able to debunk that. Now today, I'm said to be sponsored by the APC, and then some it's conspiracy theorizing at its dumbest, at its most stupid. But we've pushed back on that.
Are you able to debunk the fact that you're an agent of Governor Obaseki?
Absolutely.
Because the plan was that you are supposed to be the plan B.
No, that's not the plan.
The PDP card does not work.
Are you saying that that's
the what your people are saying?
Some people are saying, and we're saying when I became the candidate of the Labour Party, and we have told them clearly, it's quite clear. There's a gulf between myself and Governor Obaseki. It's night and day. I cannot and will not be associated with his government, which I consider to be, his performance has been underwhelming, right? And so for me, I can't be, and I've made it clear, and the people of Edo State know now. You know, I've been attacked, my billboards have been pulled down. Everybody knows that I am not his choice, and I'm not his plan Z.
Who are those pulling your billboards?
Oh yeah, members of the opposition party, the PDP. In fact, one of them was caught on video saying that how dare Olu put his billboards at Ring Road. And then, so it's quite obvious. They become local government officials, all of whom are PDP, going after my billboards. But we've won them, and they've desisted because we told them that we will not hesitate.
But what you have been able to demystify is your relationship. Mm-hmm. You have a good relationship with Aswe. You have a good relationship with Governor Obaseki before now. But I mean, the veil of politics seems to have smear all of that, isn't it? And are you saying that you do not, or you did not have a relationship with them? Because those who are pointing fingers that you are actually a decoy, a Governor Obaseki in some kind of a decoy. That's what they say.
And I've said that is so far from the truth. But let us go back to the question you asked. Who's funding me? I don't want to appear to be ducking any questions. Who is funding me? I am funding myself, and I have friends, Shehu. You know what they say, your network is your net worth. I have friends who believe in me. I have friends who believe in this cause. I have people from Edo State who believe that we can do so much better. And so with them, working with me, we have been able to get to the kind of funding that we require. And then you ask me, all I've done is law. I have practiced law successfully, Shehu. And I have practiced law for over 30 years successfully. Give me some credit. I haven't actually been idling around. So which general goes to war without first counting the costs? So we have taken into consideration all that is required for this race. And I assure you, I will breast the tape. We are going to win. And so those who are hoping and praying that we run out of steam, they have something else to coming for them.
I mean, what will worry some people is how much of, I mean, you look like you're the one that has had the most impression in the media in terms of you've shown your corporate...
In the media and on ground.
On the ground. Are you that on the ground?
I left Auchi yesterday morning. I went to Igara. From Igara, I went to Afuze. From Afuze to Sabongida Ora. From Sabongida Ora to Emeora. I got back into Benin at midnight yesterday.
What language are you speaking to them?
I'm speaking...
They say you don't know, you are not really... a homeboy. They say
no, you're talking about Aswe Godalo, not me.
Is that the case with Aswe?
Oh, yeah, he doesn't speak his language.
But do you speak?
I speak Bini very well, and I'm very good with languages. Even his language, Ishan, I can even speak a bit of Ishan. So you're referring to him, not me. Definitely not me.
But you speak very well.
I speak Bini very well.
I mean, the Benin people that are watching tonight, how do you say to them that they should vote for you?
Wakoyo, walaho, wado riobo yimeyeke, vazenodena, as a governor. On the 21st of September, walaho, waladian, wado votime, me oviwa mehi, ovie sese, ovie do sese, ovie akpata, ovie do pataki, walaho, iviwa walaho, oviwa hi. Don't worry, get a translator.
Yeah, I will.
And they will let you know whether...
You'll be shocked of how much of that I could pick anyway. You'll be surprised. I could be very good with languages, but the question here is that you might be able to connect with them. But the question about the platform, the motor that the vehicle that is taking you, the motor seems to have lost its tires. The motor seems to have lost its engine. How do you hope to win without a proper structure on the ground, which is a political party that's supposed to be a vehicle for any candidate?
Well, we still have our tires. You know, we still have our tires.
But your party is in
we're still moving. I'm just following up with your analogy. We still have our tires. But yes, the car is a bit of a banger, you know. So we're having to check the engine now and again. But we will get to destination.
Do you think that you may have made a mistake in the choice of political
No, not at all. Because you cannot tar everybody with the same brush. Labour Party is still Labour Party with its objectives, with its ideology, which resonated with me. Labour Party is still for the people, Papa, Mama, Pikin. If the operators today are finding it difficult to get along, if the operators today are having difficulties at the national level or at the state level, I mean, we will have to fix our problems. But, you know, the Americans say you must be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. So we will continue to push. And by the way, Seun, the other parties have their own fair share of challenges. That is life. Nobody said it will be easy. So I'm quite comfortable with the state of affairs. We will fix our problems. But do we have a candidate? Yes, we have a candidate. Do we have an election campaign to run? We do, and we're doing that with gusto. So I'm not going to be worried about whatever challenges are confronting us at the moment as a party.
Only that the head of your party is shaking, and those who think that the head is really not on the body of your party.
There are mechanisms, there are internal mechanisms for resolving those issues.
How much of role is Peter Obi? Because I know that it's one of the inspiration that you have.
Absolutely.
In joining the political party.
Yes.
I mean, the steam that your party had before you joined in the 2023 election is not the same steam.
Well, as at the time we started the campaigns, right? I will be the first to admit that things had the tempo had lowered. But come to Benin, so the people are believing again. The Peter Obi fervor is on the crescendo again, and they are believing in our party, and they are ready to come out. Like I said, they are going to serve this current government, the two incumbents. They're going to serve them hot breakfast on election day because the people are believing again. They were despondent. They despaired because of the experience of 2023, but they have seen that it is possible. It is within their reach. In fact, we now call election day September 21. We call it Freedom Day. Freedom Day for the Edo people because they've been in shackles, they've been in bondage, just because they've been victims of misgovernance.
Godwin Obaseki is your kinsman.
Yes,
you speak the same language.
Yeah, absolutely.
You are really from the same senatorial district.
Yes, we are.
Why should the people of Edo State, from a Godwin Obaseki, who is a Benin man, to another Benin man?
Well, because the people recognize that you play politics on party lines. And so the Labour Party, we throw our primaries open to all, and the best man won. And it so happened that the best man is from Edo South, which is myself. And the people understand that we of the Labour Party, we are for the people, and that we will set the clock now and start our own rotation. Rotation in PDP cannot be the rotation in Labour Party.
But as a lawyer, you know the place of equity.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when things are so hard and harsh, equity falls in place to be able to lower the pain.
First and foremost, he who comes to equity must come with clean hands.
Yeah, but absolutely.
Right? So
after 8 years, how much of a clean hand can a Benin man have to say they want to govern Edo people again when you have two other senatorial districts?
It is all about the parties. Labour Party has picked me. And so at the end of the day, all of this is just mere conjecture. On the 21st of September, the people of Edo State will let you know whether they are happy with a Benin man continuing in government. They will let you know. All of this is conjecture. So when you talk about equity, you talk about fairness, whatever, leave it to the people. Democracy is about the people. They decide.
We're actually talking about the people because they will make the choice.
Absolutely.
But their plight and their predispositions about these issues are very constant. It's similar. They are not isolated with the rest of the world or in Nigeria.
This is not what I'm hearing
people
on the
think
streets.
that the composition of a state is not only in one place, it's in several local government areas that compose the state. How can you be able to defend and tell the people of Edo State that my brother, Godwin Obaseki, will serve you for 8 years, yes, and I want to represent the same senatorial district? What should the other senatorial districts say?
Well, you see,
if you were from there, what would you say?
What I'm saying to you is that this is the word on the street. I'm coming from the street. The issues that are top of mind for the Edo people is the fact that they have no roads, is the fact that they have no schools of note, is the fact that they have no infrastructure. That is the issue top of mind. They know that development knows no tribe. That is what the people are telling me. So the issue of if I'm from the other zone, I am not from the other zone. I'm from Edo State, simpliciter. And the people are saying they're ready to take a chance with Labour Party, irrespective of where the Labour Party candidate comes from, because they know that we have a track record of performance. And so based on that, they are ready because they have seen the other parties. It's just abysmal performance or lack of performance. A state that earns 16 billion naira every month, a state that is owing close to 600 billion, nothing of note. the people are in abject poverty, they are less concerned with where the candidate comes from. Because so far they have seen that really means nothing. Edo Central that you speak of has produced 3 federal ministers of works. So the people know that it's not really about, because go and say, you can't even go around Uromi. The roads are in a horrible state. So the people are not fooled by all of this.
You would say Olumide Akpata is better than any of the candidates that is on display.
Oh yeah, I'm the best man for the job.
Really?
Oh yeah.
What makes you the best man for the job?
I'm the best man for the job. First and foremost, I have no strings attached to me. I have no godfather. God is my father. I have no monkey on my back. So take the PDP candidate, for example, who wants to distance himself from the existing government. Says so, but he's been chief economic advisor of the Edo State government for the last 7+ years, superintending over abject failure. Do you know that PEBEC says that Edo State is the worst place to do business today? That is the PEBEC ranking. Do you know that the National Bureau of Statistics tells us that Edo State has not attracted zero foreign investment in the last 4 or 5 years? So I'm telling you, and meanwhile, this individual who has been chief economic advisor is now presenting himself to say he go do am.
Are you describing Gordon Obaseki, who, if you look at some of the concept of Alagodaro, you look at the concept of digital education and the concept of labor and empowering the workers in Edo State, how it does look like you are describing him as a failure after 7+ years in the affairs of the state.
Shehu, I don't put water for my mouth when I talk. So don't even try. I am saying that Governor Obaseki has been a failure, unmitigated disaster. That's what I'm telling you.
There are no positives at all.
Look, in failure, there would always be flashes of positives here and there. But we are talking about, on the whole, in the sum, what are we saying?
All right, let's take some of the issues up now.
Okay.
Although the polls are not in your favor, one of the polls have come out from African Polling Institute, which says that you will come a distant third.
Which polls are you looking at, Shehu? I can supply the
polling.
I can give you BTV polls that say I will win the election. I can send that information to you. They put me at 67%. I can show you Edo Pride, an Insta blog that all Edo people, quite a number of Edo people subscribe to. They put me ahead. I can show you the poll from Tunde Ednot, a social media influencer who has a lot of following. I won. It was a poll that was conducted for the entire day. Just yesterday or a couple of days ago, Rufai Oseni, who is of the Arise TV, just conducted his own poll online. I came top 71%. So listen, you know the Edo State government is into spin and yarn, so they can bring out all sorts of stuff. I am not going to be bandying around polls. I give you street credibility.
All right, let's
go to Mission Road and find out.
Olumide Akpata, you are coming with 8-point agenda. Economy and job creation is number 1. Roads and related infrastructure, number 2. Electricity and energy access, number 3. Agriculture and food security, number 4. Education, number 5. Healthcare, number 6. Security of lives and property, number 7. Number 8 is other essential infrastructure. In the manner in which you have described the situation of things in Edo State, what would you say is your topmost priority? What you will be doing or focusing more in the very first 1 week that you get into office?
Electricity. Number 1 is electricity, right? Number 2, right, is agriculture. Because you know agriculture is a long lead item. So it's better to start early if you want to see the results on time.
So what would you be doing? I'm asking your very first step in the first week.
So that's what you asked me. Let me list firstly the priority areas. Electricity, agriculture, security, and then I pair education and health together because it's human capital development. So for example, electricity, luckily the constitution has been amended. Electricity has been moved to the concurrent list. So immediately we are going to call for public-private sector partners who are going to come with us to set up power plants around the state. Again, electricity is a long lead item, so we have to start immediately. So we would have short-term. Short-term solutions will be, we're still part of the federal power structure. So we begin to fix all of those transformers and all of that make it difficult for the people to get electricity. But our long-term, medium to long-term goal is to set up our Edo Power and to make sure that we have, Orion local government sits on the largest inland gas deposits in Nigeria. Meanwhile, Abudu and Oronigbe, towns in that local government, have not had power for 10 years. So I tell you, and this is based on what I was told when I went there. I've gone around the state 5 times. First as an aspirant and now as a candidate. So we will fix electricity. We earn 16 billion naira a month. There is no way we are not able to ensure that there's power in Edo State. And when you get funding from multilateral agencies who are willing to power the state with you, you can get power.
So let me ask you.
Second is agriculture.
Just for a moment, on the issue of the power, of course, we do know that private sector will be very excited. Business will boom because when people have electricity, you have taken up
a catalyzer.
Huge percentage of their operational cost.
Absolutely.
The question will be a statewide electricity provision. How much would that cost you? Have you put a figure to it?
No, we have not. We are still working on the numbers because first and foremost, we look at affordability, right? So I can't give you a number. So my experts tell me that with my income profile, you know, 1 megawatt can cost up to $1 million, right? 1 megawatt.
Mm-hmm.
I've been practicing as a lawyer in the electricity space for over 20 years. So we know. And also, even the availability of the turbines is an issue. So GE and the other equipment suppliers, you have to be able to know how to get the equipment. So we are still crunching the numbers.
So, but you will not get that power as you described
can't get the power
in the first 6 months.
That is why I said to you short term.
Mm-hmm.
I said to you short term, we are still part of the federal structure. We are still part of the rural electrification structure. So you're not going to throw that away. So
how many months will it take you to light up Edo State?
So if you want to have power, right, in the entire state based on a mix of Edo State and the federal structure, in 12 months we'll have power.
In 1 year?
In 1 year you have power. I tell you, yes.
Edo State.
Based on
how many megawatt will it take you to power the whole of Edo State?
Based on, firstly, let me be clear. Number one, there is the current grid, national grid. There's rural electrification, and then we have the Edo Power, which will kick off. So how many megawatts do you need in Edo State? Anything from what? I would say that, firstly, we're not doing one big plant. So it's going to be captive power generation across the state. And so if I can put an average of 3 to 4 megawatts in each local government, 5 maybe, I should be fine. That's a lot of power.
And that's a lot of money.
Oh, yeah,
and you need to be thinking about how this money. So when you give rural electricity, you may not be able to get your money just immediately because of.
I just mentioned to you that the federal government has the rural electrification.
But does it work?
Oh, it does.
Does it give power to everyone?
In Ovia local government, the REA has just come to give power to some of our camps, that the Yoruba camps actually in Ovia. So it works. It's just about your dexterity, your negotiation skills with the federal government to ensure that you are able to bring them to come
Mr.
into the state.
Unfortunately, I won't be able to take you around all of the 8 agenda. But what is crucial for me tonight is the average Edo person watching me tonight and who thinks that your state sits on enormous potentials and a lot of money in terms of gas potentials, in terms of petroleum and natural resources, and it has huge agriculture deposit or potentials also. But then, how much of these can turn around the lives of the Edo people and take poverty away and put food on their tables? In terms of poverty eradication or fighting poverty and putting food on the table of the average Edo person, what is your strategy?
So firstly, those people you're referring to, I was one of them. So you know me, I wasn't a politician 16 months ago. It is that dissatisfaction with the state of affairs, considering the potential that we have in Edo State, and the fact that it has been so grossly mismanaged, particularly when you consider that the individual at the helm of affairs in Edo State came from the private sector like I do or did. And you're just dissatisfied. So what will we do? First and foremost, agriculture is critical. That's why I put agriculture right up there in my priority list, because we have to feed ourselves. You have to make sure there's food on the table. Right now, a bag of gari is 90,000 naira. The farmers are not going to the farm because there's no security. There's no access to credit. Indeed, most of the schemes that are on ground today are on paper only. So what we need to do is to get the farmers working so that we can bring the prices of food down. And government will have to be an active participant in the sector. When I say active participant, government will have to be an off-taker. Government will have to fire up that sector because the cycle cannot stop. Food production cycle cannot stop. It impacts on our energy security.
How many jobs do you hope to provide in the first year?
When you say how many jobs,
I thought you have sat down to do the math.
Don't put. You see, that is what you do. You're looking for spin.
I'm not looking for spin. I'm asking you a straight question, Mr. Olumide, and I'm asking you. You should have done the mathematics.
No, no.
This is how many jobs I'll be able to do.
The first thing you do is the enabling environment. You see, we are at the point where we need to create the enabling environment. Don't ask me for spin.
No, we will not allow. I'm not asking.
Don't ask me for spin.
Politicians will not come on this platform and just give us generic answer.
Yes.
We need the people to be able to get the benefit of direct and specific answers. If you say, I will provide 10 jobs, let people know where the 10 jobs are going to go, where they are coming from, and let them have the benefit of assurance or hope of what they are voting for. So if you cannot give us tangibles now, it's so sad.
Well, I hate to disappoint you. You may have to leave the program sad, because what I'm saying to you is that it's not about coming to bandy numbers to say,
I'm asking for tangibles.
I am not that kind of politician. I'm not coming here to bandy numbers. Oh, I will do 100,000 jobs. What do you want? You want 100,000?
Jobless Edo person.
The jobless Edo person.
Get jobs.
The jobless Edo, they will get jobs because agriculture will be fired up.
You want a job.
So they will get jobs because there will be jobs because the agricultural sector will be fired up. The electricity sector will be running. There will be jobs. Don't come and ask me, to come and give you numbers.
We need to play.
That is the trap.
That
is the trap that you set for politicians.
No, we need to set trap for every politician so that when they get the job, we'll play this back and tell them these are the promises you make.
What we will have are the sectors up and running. Today, they are not. When the sectors are up and running, including health, including our schools that have no teachers, by the time we ensure that the brick and mortar issues are dealt with, proper recruitment processes are put in place, then we will have jobs for the teachers. For you to come and ask me now, I put a number, 200,000 jobs, okay, so make you happy.
But when you are in the private sector, if you tell your client that you will do so and so, you will keep to the KPI.
Yes.
That is how it works.
I will keep to the KPI.
In government and public service,
I will keep to the KPI.
People in this country have not been able to live up to the expectation that they promised to the Nigerian people, and we in the media will hold their feet to the fire to ask them. And that's why I'm doing my job.
But I am telling you that what is important, firstly, is to create the environment where jobs will even happen. I think you're putting the cart before the horse when you now start asking for number of jobs.
I need to ask.
No. I think
for specifics.
We're going to.
But just before we go,
yes.
If you can look into the camera and tell the Edo people why you are the best man for this job, and when they should look at you, an outsider, a lawyer who's got another senior advocate of Nigeria by his side in this ways. Why should they look in the direction of Labour Party? You have 30 seconds to do that.
Well, the reason, my Edo State people, Wahia Wesio, Wakoyo, Wabulu, the reason why they should look at us is that we need a breath of fresh air. You need something different. 25 years, PDP and APC have been running Edo State. 25 years. In the last 8 years, one man has belonged to both parties. It is abject failure. And so we must try something else. And Labour Party presents a totally different approach to the subject. A people-centric, people-focused, people-impacting approach. Every government must ask itself, whatever resources I have available, how would it impact the greatest number of people? That is the approach of the Labour Party. And then, lastly, Seun, I have no strings attached to me. I'm not answerable to any godfather. I'm not answerable to any political benefactor. That is one reason they can trust the Labour Party government, because we're answerable only to the people.
All right. Is Mr. Peter Obi going to be campaigning with you?
Oh yeah, first week of September, we're doing the stump. We're going on the hustings.
Well, let me talk about that. I wish you the very best. This is not the usual one, but I wish you the very best. I mean, we need to be able to speak truth to power and be able to hold ourselves to account for the people who are less privileged, who do not have voices for their own. Thank you so much, Indy.
And we all need to stand our ground and believe in what we believe in.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you agree with me.
Oludi, give us that your usual sign off.
Edo people, who's your guy?
Olumide Akwaza is the Labour Party governorship candidate in the Edo State governorship election. So much more to tell you tonight on the program. Bismarck Rewane, the man who helps me to crunch the numbers when I'm totally confused with these economic issues, is standing by in Lagos for us. And we'll be back after this break, everyone. Join us again. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. We are through tonight. to have Mr. Bismarck Rewane. He's a well-known economist with a knack for breaking down complex economic issues. We're diving into the current state of the Nigerian economy and the federal government's recent proposal on windfall taxes. So, whether you are a business owner or a student or just curious about the economy, we need to understand these policies and what it portends for the future of our country. In fact, not only the future, for now. Bismarck Rewane, thank you so much indeed for your time tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. It does look like some good news. It's not been bad news in the last few weeks as far as the Nigerian economy is concerned. And it looks like the economy has defied some very not so good predictions and it's gone way higher than what economic predictions were. What does this mean? What is the general outlook of our economy as of today?
Well, the economy is achieving some level of growth, and we've actually gone up as high as 3.19%. And actually, it was a surprise announcement in terms of the data. But if you look at it critically, it is the second quarter of 2024 compared to the second quarter of 2025 or 2023. Now, the second quarter of 2023 was when we had the currency change. We had the elections, and that was between March and June 2023, during the election and the transition. So economic activity came to a halt. You know, there were PS terminals, queues at the ATMs and all of that. So when you now fast forward to 2024, you find that 2024, compared to a low base 2023, actually achieved this 3.19% growth. But if you look at it, there were 46 activities that were monitored. Of the 46 activities monitored in 2024, only 10 expanded, and that is about 27% of the level of activity. Over 78% of the activities actually declined, shrunk, contracted, and actually slowed down. So generally speaking, of the 6 variables that we looked at this evening, you'll find that economic growth is up, is green. Inflation is up, and that's at 3.4, it's red. Exchange rate as of this evening is 1,622 naira per dollar. That is down. The FAC had come down from 1.2 trillion to 1.14 trillion. However, the external debt has actually declined to 42 billion, and our oil production has increased. So out of the 6 variables, 3 were green and 3 were red. So generally speaking, the economy is limping along, but it's not doing that badly.
Well, the one that doesn't look like is yielding to any kind of medicine is the exchange rate. Is there any end in sight into that disparity? The disparity over 1,000 naira to the naira has been there for several months. Is there any time?
No.
How soon can we?
I think the truth is that the exchange rate has stabilized at a particular range. So what we are looking out for, tomorrow they're going to announce the result of the diaspora bond. With that, we expect about almost, even though it's for $500 million, we think that there'll be about $1 billion that will be achieved. So with that kind of oversubscription, I think that the central bank will then be able to go into the market to have another Dutch auction. If they have that auction, we believe that the naira begins to appreciate, even though very, very slowly. So the exchange rate has defied logic and defied gravity, but generally speaking, the exchange rates are normally volatile. So, and that feeds into the inflation spiral in Nigeria. So once the exchange rate is weak, the inflation begins to actually begin to deteriorate. So generally speaking, the state of the economy is something that we have to watch. It takes 2-3 quarters before you see some stability. So in other words, the Nigerian economy is under pressure, and it needs to be stabilized before you now begin to think of how to functionally grow it. But there are some tough days ahead. Let nobody be deceived that the rough patch is over.
Yeah. So I mean, I like to hear that there are tough patches to thread in the future. But when I do know that whether or not it's tough, but I know that it's in the right direction. So my question is that, yes, they might be tough, but are we on the right path?
I think that it is the ailment has been diagnosed, and I think that the therapy is being administered, but I expect that there'll be some more pain, and there's no point deceiving ourselves that yes, it's not a light switch. It's not a we have to accept the fact that over the past 6-7 decades we have missed many opportunities. And the basic problem is that Nigeria has an economic problem, as well as a management problem, and as well as a transparency and truth problem. So the management problem can only be solved by institutional reform and putting the right people in the right places. The economic problem will be solved by partially by the management problem. But then as the oil prices increase and they're about almost $80 a barrel, and we begin to manage it properly, the transparency and honesty problem is a cultural problem. We've come to actually institutionalize falsehood, and therefore, that process needs to be treated. And if it is not actually dealt with, then all the other problems will begin to crystallize and become worse than we thought it is. So, in other words, management problem as a result of capacity of the people that are managing the economy. 2, institutional problem because an economic problem because of the revenues that we generate from our resources, and then the cultural problem of having a culture of falsehood and believing our own lies. So that we'll have to overcome that. But generally speaking, where we are today is better than where we were in about three months ago. So if that answers it, it's a very slow, difficult process.
It's just sharing news anyways, but the reason why I called you, if you remember, I told you, Mr. Rewane, I'm confused. What is this windfall tax? I do know that windfall tax comes in different sectors where there is maybe a higher yield or profit and the government takes whatever that is, well, let me allow you to explain. I mean, we're hearing and we do know that there are plans up to about 50%, especially in the banking sector, to increase the windfall tax. What is this about?
Okay, the windfall tax, first of all, the viewers must know that Nigeria has a revenue problem and has a growth and investment problem. The windfall tax is principally directed at solving the revenue problem. So, and in economic jargon, we call it Robin Hood economics. The story of Robin Hood was the man who robbed the rich to give the poor. And therefore, you look at the situation that there's income inequality in Nigeria, there's growth happening, but it's not addressing the welfare of the people. So one, and our GDP to our debt to GDP, our tax to GDP ratio is much lower than that of our African peers. So the first thing is to actually begin to collect taxes efficiently. What has happened in the past is that the taxes were inefficiently collected, and that which was collected was being stolen and mismanaged. And now we are now moving to the era of using digital technology to identify taxpayers and then collect it efficiently. Now, another thing is that we must note that the people's incentive or enthusiasm to pay taxes is dampened because the taxes they paid in the past, they cannot see the effects and results of it. So one, the enthusiasm to pay and the ability to pay are two things. Now, if the taxes that were collected in the past have been well utilized and well managed, then the people will be happy to actually pay more. But having said that, what this windfall tax is not in Nigeria specific, it's across the world. And we looked at 5 countries, actually, and these 5 countries where it had happened in the past, United Kingdom did it in 2022 to run from 2022 to 2028. It was 35% on oil companies that made significant gains out of taking advantage of the Russia-Ukraine war. Portugal did the same for 33%, and it ended last year. And it was excess profit from refineries and food retailers. The Czech Republic at 60%, and it was 2023 to 2025 on energy firms to subsidize cost and support social assistance programs, because these energy companies who are using brown energy are actually polluting the earth, and therefore they have to pay for the conversion into green and renewable energy. Germany had the highest tax at 90% on the energy sector, because Germany was closer country to Ukraine at the end of the Ukraine Union. And so they really put a brake on the energy tariffs. And there was a point in time when people even couldn't pay their electricity bills in Germany. So this was used to subsidize the people at that time. Italy had a 40% windfall tax on banks to help mortgage holders and cut taxes. So having said that, let us see what the impact of this would be on Nigeria as it is in Nigeria.
But what necessitated the Nigerian situation? You've given us these 5 countries as samples. Why is the federal government's appetite for a windfall tax just got working up? Why?
Because there's a revenue shortfall. Nigeria has an aspiration, and let's first of all look at what we set out to do. To achieve a growth rate of 5 to 6%, the president said, I want to achieve a $1 trillion economy. Today, the economy is at $384 billion. So the economy has to more than double. It has to grow by 200% in the next couple of years. The only way to do that is to improve your revenue, improve the efficiency of management, and increase investment. So for this discussion, we are talking about the revenue problem. 2, to increase the income per capita. Nigeria's income per capita is 1,690. And this is abysmally low. We have 63% of the population are in multidimensional poverty. And we are generating 5,000 megawatts of power. So the goal is to double that in the next 2 to 3 years and to insulate the economy for exogenous shocks. So one way of doing this is to collect taxes more efficiently and to tax areas that there are excesses. Now, but let us understand something very clearly. The total windfall tax, taxable windfall, is 1.4 trillion. Those who made money out of the fall of the naira are mainly banks, and I will name them in a minute. But it is also important to know that the total losses from some people lost money on this, and the losses are 1.7 trillion. Therefore, the net in the economy, there's 380 billion naira, 300 billion naira of net losses. So the difference between 1.7 trillion naira that was lost by the companies and 1.4 trillion that was made, that was the profit of those who made it. So who are the winners that made the money, the most money here? GT Bank made 441 billion naira, and Eco Bank made 328 billion naira, Zenith Bank made 288 billion naira, UBA made 138 billion naira, and FCMB made 83.96, Fidelity 44, and it goes all the way to Sterling Bank, which made 6.23. But let us now look at those who lost money. Those who lost money, the highest losers from this exchange rate depreciation was MTN. They lost 740 billion naira. First Bank Holding Company lost 332 billion naira. Nestle lost 195 billion naira. Nigerian breweries lost 195, and Guinness lost 153 billion naira. So now, if you penalize the banks that made money, what are you going to do to those who lost money? So that's part of the discussion. We believe strongly that you can, while it is possible to make money, for the government to make money from this tax initiative, we must also begin to see how it can be done in a way that is a win-win situation. But first and foremost, all taxes must pass the test of what we call the canons of taxation in economics. You never have any tax that passes 4, but at least if you have 3/4 or 2/4, then you go. And what are those canons? Taxes must be fair. That is, the rich must pay more than the poor. They must generate revenue, so that you must make money out of the government must make money out of the taxes. 3, they must be easy to administer. And 4, it must be neutral. It doesn't destroy value. So for this tax, this forex tax, the windfall tax, it is equitable because the banks that made money are paying more than the people that didn't make money, and they are paying 70% of the tax of the profit there. Don't forget that the corporate income tax is only about 30%. So this is a very punitive tax. It generates revenue. It's going to generate about almost 980 billion naira. It is easy to administer. What do you call it? FIRS will just go in there, but it is not neutral because it discourages investors. So who say that if I lose money, I don't get any subsidy, but if I make money, I get penalized. So how do we think that it should be handled? Our proposal is that you can either take the money from the people that made it and keep it in the government, and the government uses it, or administer it the way they like, which we don't like. Two, you can actually have a joint venture. That is, you can ask the companies who make this windfall to swap their taxes for projects, like we've seen Dangote did that in Bagada to the airport and Tinkan Island. MTN did it in Enugu to Onitsha, and MTN also did the Bama Banki Road in Borno State. So if you did that, the government gets the benefit of the project, and the payer actually sees it has a social impact for the social good. But better still, in that case, you still take the money away from the company. But if you have the project with the one we say, don't take it, but you must use that extra profit to invest in items that provide social good. In other words, you ask maybe GT Bank that you please build an affordable housing estate. It belongs to you. You can then sell it and you can do whatever. And therefore, it is an appropriation of profit rather than a deduction of profit. You do that, and you are so. But the bank gets the asset, the people get the benefit of the project, and the government gets the political capital. So the economic capital accrues to the banks or the guys who made this excess profit, and the people get the benefit of the social good, and the politicians get the political capital, so they can now point to the project that I want. So, but generally speaking, that is what this is about. One, taxes are normal. Penalty taxes or whatever, windfall taxes have been used in other parts of the world. It's used in other parts of the world where the governments are transparent and efficient. If the governments are not that transparent and efficient, then you now go to the project swap model. And if you don't go for the project swap model, you then go for where it's an appropriation tax, where the profit you make, you use it to build assets which will benefit the people. That way, it's win, win, win. Win for the guys who made the profit, win for the beneficiaries, where the ordinary people on the street, win for the government who gets the political capital. That's the way out of this.
So windfall tax is another way for the Tinubu government to get more money. And your recommendation tonight is they should look at how it can directly benefit the Nigerian people without necessarily putting burden on the poor.
Yes, I'm saying that it is a good thing to do, but first and foremost, I think 70% is too high. So you go to about 50%. Two, that you make it more like an appropriation. That is, the guys who made the money will have the assets, but you direct them to invest it in particular areas which will benefit the people. Right?
And we can also be able to monitor the outcomes and see what it's being used for. I mean, transparency.
The audit their books and we will see it there. But the people will benefit. Look, let us take the Bagada Road. If we had paid it, if Dangote had paid the tax to the government, and the government has gone to the House or Senate for hearing, the project is suspended, we will still be there on that road. But the fact that he converted that asset into a project, today everybody's enjoying that road. That's an example of how the project swap, tax for project swap can work. I think it was efficient. It was done under Minister Fashola at that time.
Fashola, right? Under Fashola, yeah.
You can talk about the details.
Those incentives were used very well. Yeah, I mean, on a final note, Mr. Rewane, and these are sector-based issues, and if it's properly utilized, what do you have for the president tonight in terms of the appetite to look for more money, revenue? We need to be productive. We need to make more money. What would you have tonight in that respect?
Let me make it clear. The fact that you solve your revenue problem will not solve your economic problems. It's only part of the solution. The solution to your economic problems is a combination of revenue accretion, and investments. Investments are a function of confidence. confidence is a function of integrity and being truthful to the people. So one, you have to pursue the obsession for revenue should accompanied by obsession for investment. An obsession for investment means that you have to tell the people exactly what the true position is. If that is done, when you put the two together, you can easily achieve the $1 trillion economy. But you cannot achieve it by emphasizing only revenue. Revenue is only part of the solution. It is not the total solution. The total solution is a combination of both. That's my view.
Windfall Tax 101 brought to you by Bismarck Rewane. That's how I will tag this market tonight, because you've broken it down. I understand, and I'm very sure that our viewers tonight have also been able to glean one or two things about what this windfall tax is all about. Thank you so much for your knowledge share tonight. I appreciate Mr. Rewane.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much indeed. Well, that's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow, God willing. God bless Nigeria.